What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday afternoon here in DFSArmy.com, and we are back. Me and Tattoo. We got you back today on today's MLB slate, 10-game slate. As everybody piles in, we'll usually do whatever we're doing. I'd ask you how you're feeling today, buddy, but I think people are going to have to put the cough mute on because it sounds like you're picking something up.
Yeah.
Sniffle machine. There's the cough. Over under on number of times Tattoo coughs on show today.
And none of them bong hit related.
Which that's something for you right there.
I didn't do it yesterday, and I just, sent it out. I didn't do a video, and I'll probably do the same thing today. I was like, I'm not taking a bong hit right now.
Check out Harlock. Single entry contest, 10th out of 476 yesterday. 5x return on the money. Oh, good stuff, buddy. It's always fun to see guys that kind of ask for a little help, get a little help, hit the ground running, and immediately turn their games around and start kind of piling. It just proves to people that it works. So if you're here freeloaded on the free channel, you need to get your ass in here and become a VIP. Use that coupon code MLB Live down there at the bottom for 10% off because, my tag phrase is friends don't let friends pay retail. And even though you're freeloading, I consider you a friend. All good stuff. How'd you do yesterday?
I finished 8th in my single entry.
Yeah, but you said you were up there for a while, yeah?
Yeah. Then, steer, catching that 0, and then what he did today made me sick.
I want to know, for those that played in bigger field stuff, what does 167 get you yesterday? Because it took 147 was about the top 2% mark. That's what cashed the boosters. And I cashed one. This is what I hate when I play the boosters and I win one outright. So I'm like, oh, that thing could have done damage somewhere else.
I can tell you won my single entry by 12 points with the 167.
I didn't ask you though, did I? That hurts. How much did your single entry pay? What was the buy-in and what it pay?
5 in for 150.
Sweet. You can Venmo me whenever you'd like. I want to know. 167 it usually doesn't do a lot of damage. It usually takes 180 plus in the large field stuff. So it's not like I'm thinking that thing could have won the mini max or anything. But it's nice to know that it could have dragged, small to medium field single entry type stuff. Harlock, what was your winning score in yours? The 476. That'd be interesting to know. That was on FanDuel. I'm just curious. Like I said, I hate winning those things outright. The way I play, triple ups, double ups, quintuple ups, boosters. I hate winning those damn things outright because it just shows I left some potential on the field. But you get what you get. You don't throw a fit. Where are we going to go today? We're going to start. Well, let's just start off with the top. The little rundown. 10 game. No weather. I'm showing the NFL screen here for a reason. The 180.9. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have even finished in the deep money. That's my boy Harlock. That's why I don't play those things very often because I don't produce the scores big enough to do that. I can get in there with Tattoo. That's why we play smaller field stuff. 35 and $1 SE. Cool. Still works. 7x. But here's my thing. 7x. I got 10x. I got 10x in my booster. I just, like I said, I hate to see it when it would have won me whatever you said, 10, 12, 15x. Oh, well. Point is, thanks for the help, guys. Appreciate that. Tattoo, yeah, deplane. The NFL page there, the Draftapaloozas, if you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel, then you need to be taking advantage of those. Coming back after the All-Star break here in a couple of weeks, we're going to start shifting. You're going to start, not us, not me and Tattoo, but you're going to start seeing the focus at DFSArmy.com start to shift towards fantasy football season. And that's where you're going to want that Draftapalooza. You're going to want the beers or, the brews and best ball brews, whatever Fling is doing with his guests and whatever. That's where that stuff's going to really start to kick in. So this is actually a good time to pick up becoming a VIP at DFS Army because we're getting ready to run into the most profitable time. I mean, the dog agrees. The dog. See, he agreed twice. He said that was a double good deal. 10 games, no weather. I'm going to kick onto the weather page here in a minute just to double check and show that. But we do have Coors on the slate. I've got starting pitchers, I've got Gilbert as the runaway chalk, and then Hunter Brown is the only other guy that would be quote unquote sort of owned on DraftKings. Everybody else is down to like the 10 to 15% area. And then, of course, the high implied run total teams, those guys that are 4.95 or whatever and above: Houston, LA Dodgers, Atlanta, Boston, Arizona, Chicago Cubs. And then we got some dawn calls for you later. I'll hold off on those. Let me get the weather page called up here so you guys can finish looking at the old NFL page. A lot of warm weather out there. Every temperature is green, it seems like, except for Seattle, Arizona, and the Dome and Dodgerland. Golly, but no rain. How jacked up was that today? Figuring out, you mentioned research and such. How jacked up was that today with all that crap
It was
yesterday?
dog shit. I mean, it was just chaos trying to figure out, because everything was just thrown together, and not, I don't mean just like, our stuff. I mean, all over, everywhere, everything was lumped together. It was trying to figure out who was playing in what game. And then, you always got all the guys playing the second game in the field.
Right. Yeah. That should be kind of sorted out. It looks like it's about halfway sorted out right now. I don't know which games were the doubleheader games or not. I really don't pay a ton of attention to baseball anymore. I just play probabilities and leverage, but I'm looking across the 10-game slate. No lineup for Baltimore, Houston, San Fran, Arizona, Seattle, White Sox, Dodgers. None of that should really matter. We got the important ones in, it looks like. So we should be pretty good to go. The Domination Station looks like it's locked in. I mean, it'll update, of course, but it looks like it's locked in and ready to start building lineups. And all of our pitchers. Where are you on Gilbert and Brown, since there's no weather? Do you see any pivots off of them? I'm going to call it Nilly's Carnage Report here. But Gilbert was at like 50-something%, and Hunter Brown was at whatever, 25%. Everybody else was 15% or under.
You could go Evaldi, $200 less. I mean, Baltimore is not lighting the world on fire. I mean, there's some guys with some history, but like Gunner. But
for sure,
that's like I guess an immediate pivot in the same range. At what, from 50% ownership to 5. I like Hunter Brown, obviously.
Yeah, Hunter Brown's got the K upside for sure.
Yeah, Jacob Mrzarowski. I mean, man, his price shot up.
Did you see that number in Domination Station? You see his ownership projection?
Yeah,
it's like 2%.
I mean, he's 10.5.
I get it, but I mean, if he fans the field, it's gutsy. We got Hunter Brown out in Colorado. I mean, we know those games. I mean, he's got the K upside, of course. We know those games can fall flat. You got Mizorowski taking on the Mets, and they've been scuffling a little bit lately. Trivia question: who are the two teams? Who are the two opponents to the Pittsburgh Pirates that just got their asses swept and gave Pittsburgh a perfect homestand? The first perfect homestand in Pittsburgh Pirates history since 2004.
Mets were one of them.
That's the one. 21 years since they have swept or had a perfect homestand. Now, I'm assuming that means not little rain day makeup, 2 games. I'm talking about 3 games plus probably. But I mean, it went back-to-back sweeps. They swept the Cardinals and they swept the Mets. What is up with that? That is, I mean, it's Pittsburgh. It's great. But if the Mets are scuffling and they just got swept by Pittsburgh and they're scuffling a little bit, Mizorowski's in play.
39-7 or something ridiculous.
And if they're still struggling like that, Mizorowski's in play. That's the whole point to what I'm saying. Now, is he a lock? No. Is he chalky? No. Is he a cash gate safe? No. Is he expensive? Yes. But, dude, if you're a tournament player, you don't care. If he gets blown up and scores negative points, you don't care because your ass wasn't winning anyway. I mean, because you need a big performance out. But he's in a spot. Maybe I'm crazy. Logan
I'm
Gilbert's
thinking for myself that I'm going to be in the Logan Gilbert, Will Warren, Clayton Kershaw duos.
okay. I see Kershaw. It's the White Sox. If Kershaw can't,
He looked bad last game, I believe, but before that, he was,
yeah, he's looking all right.
He was looking all right, and it's White Sox.
He's not the Clayton Kershaw that was the first ballot Hall of Famer, 5 years ago or whatever.
No.
But he's competent, and I mean, if you can't have a decent outing against the Chicago White Sox, you might as well just go to Pittsburgh and get your ass kicked because, you just didn't have your stuff today.
Yeah.
And not to flame on Pittsburgh too hard. I pick on them NL Central guys, bottom of the pack. Usually they're easy target, cheap jokes. Merrill Kelly, he on your radar?
No.
Okay. He's on mine. I think he warrants consideration.
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah, but I think I'd feel better about it if they were playing in San Francisco.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he generally keeps the ball in the park, though. What did you mention? Kikuchi is somebody that you're looking at slightly?
No.
Okay,
No.
because he's on my radar too.
Showed I'm a vagina, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Sugar was playing well for a while, but I mean he fell apart. Shigano.
Yeah. He's got such low K potential tonight versus Texas. I actually like Texas as a potential stack.
Yeah, so do I.
So, hint, things to come. That means Texas probably ain't tier 3 for him. If he likes him, we'll just have to find out later how much he likes him. But yeah, those are the guys. I mean, if anybody knows me, I'm going to be looking at the dudes in blue on the K score, and that's where I'm going. And if I'm looking at price points and things, I don't want to pay for two $10,300 pitchers. I think that's stupid. So you won't see much Brown Mizorowski in my lineups, but you might see Brown Gilbert, Mizorowski Gilbert, Brown Kikuchi, Mizorowski Kikuchi, or you mentioned Warren, or Merrill Kelly for me, whatever. You might see some of those guys kind of popping in there a little bit. You will not see Austin Gomber on my list.
Nor the diddler.
Him either. You won't see that stuff.
My dogs heard your cat.
Oh. That's why I didn't even hear the cat.
I turned around, it was just like ears pinned back. They were like, what the fuck is that?
That's funny. I don't even know where the cat went. But, and for the record, it ain't my cat. It's my kid's cat. But he's making himself at home. You got 5 or 6 pitchers in there that we'd be interested in.
Yeah.
We overlap on about 4 of them, and that is what it is. I mean, let's check those comments really quick, guys. Who all you guys looking at for pitching today? Because, dogs be barking tonight. Stack in Colorado. That's contrarian, Octavius. That's contrarian. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's contrarian. Feel like going crazy. I mean, I've seen times when who the hell, whoever is pitching in Colorado, gives 5 or 6 innings pretty strong and then gets pulled, and then Colorado blows up and hangs 8 on somebody. I mean, I've seen it. That's not unreasonable. Going crazy, wasting $1 on Met stacks. Don't mind it. I always want to go against the grain a little bit. Miz is 9,300 on FD. That makes a difference for Harlock, of course. I don't know if it would get me off of a Hunter Brown or a Logan Gilbert, depending on their ownerships. I really do tend to play chalky pitchers on FanDuel. I don't pivot too much. Curious, you guys' thoughts on Angels stack when it's time? Yeah, we'll get into there against the Diddler. We'll get in there. I hate to say it, but for me, Angels are kind of almost always in play at this point because they're just too home run heavy.
Yeah.
We'll see how much we like them here in a bit, and we'll see if you've written them down on your list. I mean, tell me they're at least on your list. Nope. Okay.
But it doesn't mean I don't like them. I mean,
yes, it does, or they'd be on your list. I mean, look, we didn't come here for politics. The people want you to shoot straight with them, man. They got thick skin. I'm kidding.
I just didn't have.
I'm in a mood today, apparently. Didn't have space. How many teams you got on your list total? Tier 1, 2, 3.
I could add them right now. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, it's 3 in Tier 1.
No, let's see. Well,
unless Houston's in
Houston
Tier 1
is
again.
the cores, so I just left them out. Then there's 1, 2, 3 Tier 1, 3 Tier 2, and everybody else.
Okay, so we'll go for Tier 1, Tier 2. Start guessing, boys. If Houston ain't in there, start guessing where those Tier 1 teams are. We'll start playing our little version of. We need to name this something. We need to name. We need to name this segment, and it'd be even more fun if we could have some kind of an intro drawn up for it, because this seems to be the theme we like to do. Let's see. Who are my boys? Here's the leverage tabs, guys. The leverage stacks tab.
Boston.
Let's do that and raise that up. Raise it up.
Yeah, Boston was one of them.
Boston's Tier 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Thunder. The Thunder. I haven't seen your name before. Welcome in, brother. Way to shout it right out of the gate. Good stuff. But Edwards on them too. Ivan says Cubs. Cubbies
3.
in there. Tier 3 on the Cubs. Oh, Ivan, you lose, sucker. No, I'm kidding.
Tier 3 sounds bad.
You got what? 10 teams tonight, and there's 20 on the slate. Half of them are in play. White Sox out of Chuck. Chuck, and you got to go to timeout, man. You got to go find the stairwell.
Diamondbacks Tier 2.
Diamondbacks are Tier 2. Now, they're Tier 1 for me because they've been too good to me lately. They're the ones that won the booster last night for me. These guys, and I loved it when I checked into Discord and I saw Uppers Ladder, somebody saying, can they just stop hitting home runs now? I'm going, no, don't. Hit more. Do more. Yeah, Chuck knows you like the Reds.
Not on the list.
Not on the list. Whoa, not on the list. Throw everybody for a loop. All right. So you said Boston was Tier 1. Arizona, you said, was Tier 2 or Tier 3?
The Blue Jays are not on my list tonight.
Did you go? Well, I'm going to let them keep guessing because I don't have a square read yet. Boston was not there. Boston was already mentioned. Arizona, Cubs. We said Cubs. You said Tier 3 on Cubs, right?
Dodgers, yeah.
So that leaves, where were the Dodgers if that got mentioned? Where were they?
Tier 1.
Tier 1. So Boston and LA. And there's one other one left, everybody. Is it Atlanta, Yankees, Texas? I want to say, please tell me they're at least on your list. Milwaukee. No, not on your list at all. Did you see the ERA of that guy they're facing?
Yeah,
but no. Okay.
Didn't make the cut.
Freaking Tidwell, baby. Tidwell's 0-1, and it starts with a 10.13 ERA. I'm thinking he gets thumped around a little bit more by a relatively hot, cooling off, but relatively hot Milwaukee Brewers team. So Milwaukee's in play for me, but you said no. Reds, no. You like Seattle. You always like Seattle. They're on Tier 3 at least for you, yeah?
Not on the list.
Not on the list. No Seattle. Okay. Well, you're just going chalky for us. All right, we still got one more. What are the guesses in there? We still got one more Tier 1. Dodgers.
Rangers are Tier 2.
I'm going to go Dodgers with Harlock and say, is that the other Tier 1?
Yeah, it's Dodgers and Boston, then one more.
I thought you mentioned that. Did we already
Yankees
forget?
did make my list, shockingly.
Did we already collectively forget who you said was Tier 1? It wasn't Arizona. Arizona was...
No, nobody has said it.
Nobody's said it yet. Are they that far down? Oh, shit. Don't give me this stuff.
They're not even just in Tier 1. They're my favorite Tier 1.
What? Nobody said the Mets yet. That ain't going to be the Mets.
They're not on the list.
Yeah, that ain't going to be the Mets.
I have that as a very low-scoring game.
Did anybody mention the Braves?
I don't know if they did or not, but...
Is that them?
No.
No. Oh, shit. Man, I need to retire. I was pretty decent at playing this game for about 2 or 3 days, and all of a sudden, see, baseball's
Not
volatile,
volatile.
guys.
Not
Baseball's
running.
volatile. You look like a hero one day, you look like you don't know what the hell you're talking about the next. I mean, might as well just start naming the list. Houston's in a place by itself. LA's in. Atlanta's not. Boston's in. Arizona's not. Chicago, you said no.
Hold on. Let me make sure I didn't do something. I've had more than one mistake today with the slate.
You said Yankees. I think we mentioned them. Texas, Milwaukee, Cincinnati. I know you said no. Seattle, you said no. Angels, you said no. Mets, you said no. Blue Jays, you said no. Giants, Baltimore.
Well, you're not going to
no.
get it because they're not on the main slate. But they did have a good game today.
Just go. Just you go join Harlock in the stairwell. Jeez, you're out of here, pal. That's how you lead people on a wild goose chase, though. That works. It's good for ratings.
It was Tampa.
It was Tampa.
Who has completed their game today.
Okay, everybody, let's scroll that leverage stacks page one more time. Anybody stop me when you see Tampa. Stop me when you see Tampa. Stop me when you see Tampa. They ain't there. All right. Thanks for that game. Who are your tier 2 teams?
I need a new tier 1.
You're going to promote somebody?
I'm going to promote Arizona.
Yeah,
to tier 1.
That's what I'm talking about. Arizona, I mean, look at this ownership on Arizona. They got a 5.06 sitting at home, facing a relatively vulnerable situation, and they're only 20% owned as a team. I mean, dude, if that don't generate leverage, I don't know what does. And this thing says leverage team number 3. Dodgers are almost always going to be number 1, and the Yankees up there too because they're just so damn expensive. Cubs.
And then I'm going to add Cincinnati in at tier 2.
Cincinnati's in tier 2. Who's your other tier 2 teams?
Texas, Yankees.
I like Texas. Yankees are fine.
Then I got Toronto. This tier 3.
Right.
Toronto, San Francisco, Cubs. Then I put Atlanta and LA.
Okay. Let's see if you missed anybody that I would have taken. I do. I'm going to take some Milwaukee. But that might be it. You got everybody else. I'm going to take a smidge of Milwaukee just because I just see that 10-point whatever ERA, and I know it's a small sample size, but I just can't. I can't not do it. And again, 17% owned top to bottom, and I mean it doesn't look like they generate a ton of leverage supposedly, but I mean, team that low owned has to generate something. What do you feel about Houston? What do you feel about Houston, Colorado? I mean, you said they're in a tier on their own, so you plan on taking them again tonight, right? I mean, a good bit. They should be your top exposed team, or did you just have them?
I just set them in a course tier.
Okay.
You know, it's like play them or fade them. You know.
Yeah. That's
you have to make that decision that they're just obvious. You know.
Yeah, that's absolutely the way to go. You either ride the lightning or you eat the chalk. It's one or the other.
Yeah, I literally I just put 5 stars and said they're the cores. You know, they're cores tier. You know. Decide amongst yourselves.
Right. And that's always the way to go. I mean, with stuff like that, owned stuff like that. Where do you stand on the Angels? You said not on your list?
I went ahead and added them. Because as y'all were talking, I went back and looked at the Sims, and them in Atlanta both came out above 4.5. So.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. As we know, if we remember from the charts that we showed before, there's about an 80% chance that if you stick with the teams that are over a 4.5 implied run total, it's about an 80% chance that you have narrowed it down to the nut team. Now, slate like this, it only cuts the slate in half. You know, it's just not like it narrows it down to some tight pool. But obviously, over 4.5, you know, if you stick to over 5, you're doing even better. If you stick to over 6, over 7, you're probably doing even better. There's no data for over 6 or whatever, but that's why LA and Houston should be, you know, fairly owned tonight because, again, implied run total and ownership correlate pretty heavily. If they're not on your list, okay, so if Houston, whether you play them or fade them, let's just, like you said, kind of leave them out. There is a bat in there that I want us to focus on later that I'll talk about. But who you said was your favorite after all of that? And it's not Tampa. It's not Tampa.
Yeah, it's not Tampa anymore. I'm out on Tampa.
So,
like Kenny Powers, Tampa Bay, you're fucking out of here.
Boston, Arizona, and the Dodgers. Who would you be keying in on?
Dodgers, Boston.
If you're playing single entry, who's the first stack you're trying to put in the lineup?
The first one I'm going to try, since I couldn't find any Tampa Bay batters as far as I searched.
Because I can tell everybody right now, I'm just going back to the well with Arizona.
I was going to say I'll probably start to see what I can build with Arizona.
Okay.
But, it depends on where it leads me. And if I start building Arizona and I don't like what else, I may change. So not be like a hippie, but like I build my lineups organically.
No. See, now you're the opposite of Geek, because Geek is highly chemically induced sometimes when he builds his lineups.
He's on opium.
It all depends. Exactly. It all depends on what great T-shirt design, by the way. If you get that thing going, the old opium shirt would be funny. Opium and Dreamium.
Did you see it? The shirt?
I did not, but I've heard.
It's a dude with glasses, like a geek, but sitting there smoking a thing, and the smoke coming up says hopium.
Yeah, Geek loves it. He was talking about it this morning. He was like, "That's freaking a loss. That's just hilarious." For anybody that's wondering, up at the top of the very, very top banner, not the sports with the MLB PGA, but above that with Free Month, Wall of Champions, Discord on the far right is the merch tab. And that's where everybody needs to head. In fact,
Jimmy, your Tutties shirt is back in there.
Way up here in the corner. You can see me flashing around with it. That merch tab is something to take a gander at once in a while. And we've come up with some cool ideas come NFL season 2 and hopefully spread some of that stuff out. I
want to come up with like the Beatles, where they got the 4 guys.
Abbey Road.
Pre-lock is, me, Josiah, Burns, and Raz. And if I could get like a shirt with like somehow the R4 faces,
that'd be pretty funny. You're thinking along the right lines. Where do you stand for individual players tonight? Who are you looking for? Well, I'll throw you mine, and then you throw yours, because you're better at the bomb calls and whatnot than I am. But I'm going to probably steal a couple of them from you. I saw Aaron Judge at the top of the list, 14 for 37. That's a 378 batting average alone against Barrios, and 5 bombs. His slugging percentage and 37 at bats is like 1,300. That's up there a ways. I saw Austin Slater for the White Sox. DS likes to throw in White Sox one-offs once in a while. If it does, I hope it's Austin Slater, because he's got a little bit of a track record against Kershaw, 7 for 27 with 3 bombs. So pretty strong there. And then I went all the way down to the bottom of the list, and this is the Houston bat that I want to take a look at. If he's in the lineup, it's Christian Walker against Gombrich. Yeah. Walker's 7 for 17 with 2 bombs, which isn't saying a ton, but he's hitting 13 to 1,400 OPS. And we're in Houston. And if you remember from Nilly's Carnage report, that Gomber was deep red with like a 256 or a 260 something ISO against. I mean, that dude's he's giving up fly balls, and they're going a long way. So Christian Walker might be one of my first targets if I'm going to chalk up the Houston Astros bats tonight. Or I might go 4x3 on FanDuel somewhere else, 5x2 on DraftKings, and do my one-off as Christian Walker. Play the game that way.
Gunnar Henderson.
Okay.
Small sample, but I mean, he's 7 for 8 versus Valdi.
Nice.
Let's see. Cody Bellinger is 4 for 6 with a dong. Altuve 4 for 6. But home runs, I like Adolis Garcia again. Carlos Santana is my crazy bong call.
Carlos Santana, if he's in that, I assume he's in the lineup. He's been mentioned on dongs before. You know, the old dudes tend to hit volume dongs, so you got to be careful with BVP. But he registers. I'm looking sample sizes, and I'm trying to find somebody who's absolutely struggling against somebody that we should pay attention to. See if I can find anybody down here, and they're really, really low. Now, these are all
Austin
on day slates.
Slater has 3 dongs versus Kershaw.
217. Matt Olson. If you're playing Matt Olson tonight as Atlanta stacks versus Kikuchi, he's 5 for 23. He does have 2 bombs. 5 for 23. It's a 200 batting average. He might be an okay fade in that stack. Who else we got? I'm just looking for bad batting averages with you. Gary Sanchez versus Nathan Eovaldi is only 2 for 17.
I like Isaac Paredes for a homer tonight too.
And lately, Paredes is decent. He's always a good call.
And he's 4 for 7 with a homer versus Gomer. Homer versus Gomer.
Homer versus Gomer. That's a decent call. Yeah, for real. I mentioned Sanchez because I've seen him popping in the DS lately. He likes to pull in with Baltimore at every turn. And I don't know if that's put too much weight on historical numbers or what, but 2 for 17 versus Eovaldi. If I see him in my lineups, I'm going to uncheck his ass.
Yeah.
Unfriend him, uncheck him. That's about it. I don't see a ton. Oh, Nemo. Nemo's 0 for 10 versus Freddie Peralta. Soto's 1 for 10 versus Freddie Peralta. Food for thought if anyone's on the Mets.
I was looking at Nolan Gorman, but that I imagine that's on the 640 slate.
Day slate. They're done.
They're done.
I watched them. They got swept by the Pirates 5-0. Sean Murphy versus Kikuchi 1 for 10. Well, that's not good for the Atlanta bats. You got Olsen and Murphy. For the Mets bats, you got Nemo and Soto. Those dudes are struggling against their pitchers. How about this? People that love the Giants and Rafael Devers, 1 for 9 against Merrill Kelly. 1 for 9. Well, let's see. Let's go back to the comments. I've been looking at the BVP page to see if we got anybody else. Yeah, they had the turd hat. You got to love the turd hat. Come back to the Army so bad. Octavius, man. Why not? What? I tell you what, Octavius, talking to you. I'm looking directly at you. How about if I triggered a coupon code just for you that's better than the MLB Live coupon code? I have the power to give this out.
The baby comeback coupon.
July 4. JULY 4. The number 4. That coupon code will trigger you 25% off. Now through the 11th. I think we're going to run that for a week. And I got told this morning I can use it anytime I want to. So I'm going to debut it right here on the MLB Live Block show. How about that? Octavius, if you come in and you take advantage of that, you tell them Chop sent you. So Chop and Tattoo are your boys. Chuck, no.
Can we split? No.
We can split. Split 25% off coupon. No, probably doesn't work that way. I probably will not get the approval for that.
Did I tell you what?
I got the approval. I do have the approval to deliver coupons and things like that. Not at discretion, but I mean a little more liberally than maybe. But I do not have the discretion to pay us what we want.
No, I can put coupon codes in the store anytime I want.
There you go. 10% off swag, 25% off swag. Match the 4th of July. Match the July 4 code and give somebody 25% off swag.
Last night I was sitting there and I was like, man, I forgot to put my home run bets in and everything. And I picked up my phone and the San Francisco game had already started, but it was still letting me. I took Patrick Bailey, which he didn't hit.
Right.
But I was like, let me take Willie Ademus. And I entered the bet and put my phone down. And my phone went off and it was like, you've won your Willie Ademus. He hit a homer less than 2 minutes later.
That's great.
It must have been in between innings or something. July 4th. Is it just July 4 or TH?
I was just about to say I can't even satisfy the wife that fast. I mean, that's just a bad joke, dude. So hopefully we see Octavius back. Get on that home run call if you make another one of those tonight. Chuck asks if there's going to be a 4th of July show. There will not. Friday, there will not be. I will say happy birthday to my wife. She's a 4th of July baby. So I know Tattoo and I were ready to go, but I got told today by Geek and them, they were like, Geek was like, I wouldn't do a 4th of July show if I was married to your wife, so I wouldn't recommend that you do it either. I said, I appreciate that. So now we'll be taking Friday off. We'll be back
I didn't
Monday.
mind working Friday. I made sure I took Saturday off.
Yeah, that's probably smart. We've got people coming over Friday for my wife's birthday. So
I mean, I can have my work done I think, I don't know what I signed up for Friday, but I mean, I can have that done in the afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not. I think if it wasn't my wife's birthday, I think we would have probably just done it anyway because, it's 30, 45 minutes. It's not too much. It's not the end of the world. I will say this, though. Tell your friends, Dixon, tell them to get in there and hit the thumb up button and whatnot because we need some show growth through the season. It's about time to start looking at numbers and analytics and see where we are as a show and what kind of potential we think we can project for this show. So we could always use the friendly help.
What'd you say that code was? I see Thunder asking.
July 4. JULY number 4. Okay. JULY number 4. Now, I'll tell you what, if anybody's getting into there and using July 4, I would absolutely mention that to like support at dfsarmy.com or something because we track the MLB Live coupon code to know who's coming through the show. That would help me and Tattoo out and me and Razzle and me and Darth and whatever a lot. If you guys jump on July 4 for the 25% off and you tell them that you got it here. Because I haven't mentioned it on Twitter yet. I haven't mentioned it anywhere yet. That's a hockey puck. That's a street puck, brother.
I would say if anybody can tell me what this is called.
Zing. All right, try it again. I won't steal your thunder this time. I promise.
But it has a specific name.
Oh, I don't know the name. It's like a hockey puck.
I'll put up
on wheels.
25% coupon on the store, which I probably will anyway. But.
It's got a DFS Army logo on it, or is it just black and green?
Just black and green. It's a green biscuit.
Is that what it's called? It's a biscuit?
Yeah. It's but indoor hockey practice puck.
Yeah, on the Teflon. The rollerblade rinks are.
Now I do have
those things, man. We used to hit those things around the driveway all the time. Those things will go through siding like nobody's business. When you whack one from about 30 feet, it'll go right through your mama's siding.
But this one ain't getting used. So
okay, get on it, people.
But yeah, I'll throw a 25% coupon up on the store July 4, same thing. And I'll run it through the weekend. So
very cool. Thank you. Bad feeling they're going to walk Judge 3-4 times tonight. Dixon, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I hate that. That's you try to take them,
Oh, Octavius looks like he's in. Thunder looks like he's coming. In fact, I'll just type it out for you and all your friends.
Here, I'll let y'all make a decision for me.
I'm typing.
Which one for dinner?
Which one for dinner? Oh, that's right.
Ribeyes or
filet mignon. If you're what's his name? Gordon Ramsay. Filet mignon. It's like, dude, you don't say it right. All righty.
Down my pit bulls would eat them.
Quick question from Harlock. How often's chalkboard updated? Unless Otani's taking the night off, he's not on the chalkboard. But TS is saying he's going to be 20% owned. I would check Domination Station and see if he's got a green check next to his name. I think that once the projection's up, I don't know what the priority is, but I think that when the projections hit, I think they might go to Domination Station first and then maybe the chalkboard peels off of that. Don't quote me. I could be totally wrong. But there may be a couple minute delay in there. If not, I know the chalkboard kind of has sometimes pulling from here and there difficulties, and it's not exactly 100% accurate all the time. We've got development teams working on that all the time. So bear in mind. Now, I saw when I was dinking around with DS earlier today, it was putting Ohtani in my lineups. So should be active. As a follow-up, should we regard chalkboard or the DS ownership as more accurate? Probably just answered that one for you. That's like the hockey puck. That's like the hockey puck idea. Just got that one before I saw the questions. So all of a sudden, I've gone from the biggest incompetent boob on the face of the planet to the most clairvoyant SOB you're ever going to meet. I mean, it's just like flash back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, he's in the projected lineup. I can't imagine they're sitting him. I mean, but it won't shock me.
I mean, all he's got to do is stand up and bet 4 or 5 times.
Right. I would want that in there all the time. Cujo says ribeye.
I think he should be a closer. Show it.
Could you imagine?
I mean, let him come in at the end of the game, throw in 100.
But obviously, he's good for 6-7 innings most of the time,
Yeah.
so that's why. But ribeyes for Cujo. I told you earlier today I could go either way.
Yeah.
Depends on how you want to cook. Depends on how much you want to eat. Depends on what you got them, kind of eating them with. And if anyone was paying attention to our show yesterday, we know you're going to drop some A1 on it.
We do. And you don't have to because Patrick Bailey did not hammer.
That's right. and I don't remember who it was yesterday said they were going to put ketchup on there. That was funny. You guys were cracking me up yesterday. That was great. That said, I'm about out of information for today.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot else other than I can sit here and I can joke around with everybody all damn day. That's my wheelhouse. And I could talk tattoo all day long. Shaving the ribeye into French dips. Amen to that, Dixon. That's one way to go for sure. French dips are an underrated sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
You do like them or don't like them?
I do. Au
juice.
As you like them, I do.
I mean, if
I'm fucked up there.
Oh shit, we got to get out of here, man. You see where I take your bow before the cane hooks you off the stage.
I'm
definitely
here.
Seriously, guys, take advantage of that July 4 coupon. That July 4 coupon code. Take full advantage of that. Tell them that Chop and Tattoo sent you. Let them know that you like the show and that you guys are here with the thumb up.
You get your army shirt.
Go get you some swag. Pair it up with that cheaper membership than usual, and ride this baby into the sunset because we're going to see some helmets on leaderboards again tonight, every night. The sun never sets on the DFS Army.
Dixon, I made a Raz GPT shirt. So
that might be one of your best sellers. Yeah, I mean, it's only going to be your best seller because Dixon's going to buy like 12 of them.
I can make a onesie for it if you want, Dixon. Or something. Maybe some underoos.
Oh my! No, you make the onesie for Razzle and you just send it to him.
I want to make Raz a onesie of Rashid.
Yeah. Oh my God, so funny. You got any other actual words of wisdom for us?
This one, the other one, you can look at the website, Jack Turd.
It is $1 million idea. That's inflation. That's a $2 million idea, double. All right, man. What do you say we head out of here?
That name, Dixon. You're right.
Right on. All right.
I have to give you a free shirt.
You ready for me to pull the plug on this, baby?
Yeah, I think it's far enough off the rails.
Right on. For me and for Tattoo and the DFS Army crew. You guys, hopefully see you in Discord tonight. Be active. Be loud.
Be safe this 4th.
Fuck that. I expect everybody to come back with 8 fingers.
No, I mean, be dumb, but be safe about it.
I expect everybody to come back with 8 fingers. All right, everybody. You guys take care. We'll see you. We won't be back on Friday, so we'll see you on Monday.
Yeah.
Lots of money, everybody. Let's go.
Let's go.